What's up guys, and welcome back to another overanalyzing video. Now today is a highly requested one, and this is our first ever zombies overanalyzed video. Now I asked you guys what kind of zombie maps you guys wanted me to overanalyze first, and a lot of you and most of you had told me to start off simple and do the map Town from Transit. Now before I get into the video, I'd like to tell you guys that next week I will not be uploading a video, which that means I will be skipping for the first time in 6 months a video for an entire week. The reasoning why is actually because I have a big video that I've been teasing and I've been working on for the last few months. And if you watch my overanalyzing videos, you'd probably get this sudden hint when I say something that would become important one day. Not only that I'm releasing this video that I've been working on for a long time, but I also have a pretty big announcement coming on that same day that I'll be posting and mentioning within that same video. So I hope you guys stick around till then. I hope you guys are okay with me not uploading for 1 week, and I know it's kind of me breaking the streak, but I want to give you guys the best quality video that I've ever done and one of the best researched video ever. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's overanalyze the map Town from Black Ops 2 Zombies. Now, one of the first things that we notice when loading in is that it kind of looks more clear. That's right, because I actually turned off the fog before starting this recording to just help us get a better look at the map. Now, if you're familiar with the Call of Duty Zombies lore, then you're probably familiar with why there's a bunch of lava and then why this entire town is broken down. If you don't know, this map is actually set in a post-apocalyptic aftermath of a missile triggered from the Black Ops 1 moon ending. Then you will know that if you play Transit, this is the aftermath of the rockets actually hitting Earth. These strikes obviously devastated Earth, leaving much of the surface irritated by not only toxic fog, but also thick lava. Now, if we really look at the buildings, we could tell that this is not some ordinary buildings. I mean, by looking at some of the signs, it kind of looks like a Midwest town set in America. Now, if we look at the map in no clip from a top to bottom, now since this area takes place in 2035, it's kind of odd that it looks like a old Western city. Now, at first, I thought it was just, hey, maybe just a regular type of old city. Maybe it never really progressed as a society. But then I looked further into it. Obviously, we have cars, and I mean, the cars kind of do look like older cars when we really think about it. Something that kind of looks like they were made in the 90s or even 80s. And also, there's a set of traffic lights, which I know it is not that big of a deal. It does tell us that it's not something that just takes place back in the day. It's still something that's more recent. Everything is basically unpractical and unrealistic. I mean, it is a zombies apocalypse within a game that was hit by missiles from a moon base. I mean, everything is unrealistic. I wanted to take a deeper look at how the zombies are spawning, and because this is an overanalyzing video, we can do that and we could say if this zombie spawn is impractical or not. Now, for example, if we look at this spawn within inside the bar, we could tell that this room really amounts to nothing and it's just an outside invisible wall. This would be almost impossible, but again, this is just something where we're not supposed to see. Now, in case you didn't know, which I find pretty interesting, is that I find a way to actually go above these buildings within the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 zombie maps. They're all see-through. In reality, if you were to find a way to actually get onto the roofs of these buildings, you would see the exact same thing that you see in this video, meaning that every single roof of building, every single platform is invisible. Now, let's start with the bar. First thing that we notice is obviously the stamina up machine, the one perk that makes you run faster. Now, upon entering the bar, it just looks like a standardized bar. It has a pool table, obviously it has a bunch of tables and chairs, and it has a bar lounge, and we could tell that there's nothing, absolutely nothing. As you can see, there's absolutely not even a single bottle in this building, meaning that they were just probably taken. I mean, this does take place in 2035, and I'm pretty sure the moon takes place in 2025 within game lore, so it makes sense that within the last 10 years, people were just scavenging things to survive. I mean, that's probably why there's barely any furniture. People just took it. Bar, we actually have one of these zombie teddy bears just sitting on one of the booths. If we go to the top floor of the bar, we have some sort of odd area. I mean, this does seem like maybe the person's household that owned the bar, and on the other side of this barrier seems to be like a bedroom sort of thing, but it is pretty cool to see that there's also quick revive inside of this building. Another thing too I find very interesting is that the door actually doesn't have any door hinges, meaning that if you realistically lived in this bar, people could just walk upstairs and make their way to your personal room. Now, one of the things I find that's very overlooked about Town is the fact that this bowling alley here was probably or most likely supposed to be a playable area. Now, I've recently played Black Ops 3 Modded Zombies Town Reimagined, and you can actually play with inside of this building. Now, what I find really interesting is it seems like it was supposed to be a playable area. You could just simply say that. How do I know that? I mean, I didn't even need to do research. There's actually one thing that tells us this answer right away. Now, obviously, if we look at inaccessible buildings and we really look at them, we see doors that are just kind of flat. For example, if we look at the laundromat building next to the bowling alley, this door is flat. It has no texture, no nothing. It's a completely flat door. If you look at the bowling alley's door, the entire door is 3D, meaning that it was supposed to be something that we could open, meaning that if we open this door, which brings us to the back camping area, we'd actually be able to access the bowling alley from this back door where double tap is. I mean, this looks like a giant piece of maybe a rocket, I'm not too sure, so I think this would have added even lore to the map. Now, going across from where the bar is, we have the bank. Now, this bank is just a standardized bank, and if you've played on the actual transit map of town, you're obviously able to go through this safe. If you go through this door, there's actually a downstairs area, completely futuristic, that it isn't even accessible within the actual transit map. That it was never used or was planned to be used, but never ended up making it into the final cut of the game. These rooms have a lot of just different details when it comes to lighting, when it even comes to just like blood splatter, light flickering. I mean, it is a pretty cool concept of what they were going for. We know that there's a facility that works the exact same way, and we just have the same type of layout and the same type of wall texture, same type of floor, just everything is similar. But going back to the bank, it gives us speed cola, and it overall just looks like a old western bank. I mean, there's nothing really. And remember that part I had said about the ship inside of that bowling alley? Well, we see that same piece inside of the bank. This probably landed here from the actual rocket, crashed into this building, turning it on fire, and then smashing into the bank. Now, if we look at the top floor of the bank, there's honestly really nothing, and even behind it and these broken down buildings, I mean, it has a bit of detail with the fire broken down. Honestly, I'm assuming that this sign was put up to warn about the lava, but also it's pointed towards this building with these trucks coincidentally just blocking it with this fence covered up. And honestly, it would have been cool if there would be some sort of like Easter egg of something dangerous inside of here. We don't really know what this building is. I mean, it has just a bunch of random shelves, doesn't even have furniture. I mean, maybe could be a barber shop. I have no clue, even though there's no hints at it. I'd like to think that with all the windows here. Now, going back to the church, it doesn't really offer too much. I mean, we could kind of go inside of it, but it's completely invisible. Now, a thing I find pretty funny is that if we go underground, I guess that's supposed to be the moon, that where the rockets came from, meaning that this over here is most likely the sun. We know that there is still powered buildings. I mean, the signs, the lights, and just overall things are still powered up. Now, how are they still powered up if they're all broken down? Now, I tried to find one of the longest power lines, and if we see from the distance, there's obviously commercial ones, but unfortunately it kind of just ends off here, meaning that there's no line that connects all the way to the main ones over here. Again, this is an overanalyzing video, so that just kind of fits into that type of impracticality criteria. And obviously, as you can tell, there's a lot of things in the background, but because this is a town overanalyzing video, I want to keep it strictly to town itself and keep Transit for another time, meaning that I want to make Transit its own separate video. But I did go to every location to see if they had any underground facilities, just like town. Town and the power area seemed to be the only place where they had power under. Why are power-up machines at this random city that takes place in the old western time, and why is there a random facility under it? We don't know why. If we look at the Pack-a-Punch machine, it's actually powered by a car battery. Pretty funny detail that no one really realized. Also, did you know that Pack-a-Punch actually has wheels behind its machine compared to all the other ones that don't have it? I find that to be a pretty cool detail that I never even realized. I wanted to wait until I do the overanalyzing video on Transit as a whole to show you guys this detail, but I honestly think that to give you guys a little bit of a preview, I honestly didn't even realize until I looked into the entirety of the map. But if we go behind town and just completely at the back of the map, we actually have Nocturne and Toten. This is a pretty cool, sick Easter egg that I didn't even realize until making this video and just checking it out. I mean, it's literally the copy of Nocturne and Toten. I do find it interesting that they use a lot of these same assets for vehicles. I mean, if you really pay attention, all the cars that we see here, we see multiple times within this map. I don't even want to count how many times I've seen this white Beetle looking car around this map. And another cool thing I realized at the bar is that there's actually another workbench inside of it, but it's also inaccessible. But I do like the way that they they made the atmosphere with the trees. I mean, it makes it look full and it gives a pretty good atmosphere to it. Now, because I turned off the fog, it looks a little empty without it, but honestly, I find that that is a pretty cool niche detail about it. As when we really take a look though, this map doesn't really offer that many crazy details other than its point of interest. It has dead grass, it has broken down exploded cars, but what else does it offer us? And I mean, that is a question for another day. If you're asking for a death sentence in this rare bookstore, I mean, go ahead and camp in here, but you are going to get cornered and die if you don't have a packed weapon. Now, I actually wanted to go in the green run transit itself to actually just double check everything on the map to make sure that there's not any extra details. And going back to the vault, if we actually go inside of it, door that was here isn't actually open. But if we go through, we could see that it's actually closed and it's not something that's supposed to be accessible. It actually has a lot more detail, meaning that there's cages. We see actually assets being added in this underground area. Now, I'm not sure what these barrels are supposed to be, but since there's a toxic logo, it could be something that's not too good for you. Maybe a gas that kills you, who knows. And the bench is actually accessible in the bar area too, and stamina up is actually inside of the building and not outside of it. But unfortunately, this map doesn't have that many extra details in the transit version compared to the just strictly town version. Has almost and basically the same amount of details. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this overanalyzing video, and please let me know if I missed any other details in town. And either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this overanalyzing video, and I want to do a special zombies map after, so I might do Origins or Buried. Let me know down in the comments below what you'd like to see next. It's been Fellow, and again, next week I will not be uploading a video. Just remember, stay smart. See you guys soon. Peace, everyone.